You're going to have to ignore the mess on the bench here for a moment, folks. I just wanted to take this time. I came in from after finishing day 8, I believe it was, we had 2 shots right towards the end. Arrows didn't really seem to impact, didn't hit behind my pin when both shots felt good. I told you guys, you know, I have a cheap little arrow spinner. I told you it was River something, but it's not. It's Pine Ridge Archery. So these things are relatively inexpensive, and they're a great tool to have whether you build your own arrows or not. I use that term loosely. Whether you put your own arrow shafts together or you're using arrows that you pre-purchased. It's good to check them. As I mentioned, people often, you know, we screw our fixed blade broadheads in, we put them in, we spin our arrow, we look to see if our arrow shaft spins straight, and most importantly, we see if the tip of, you know, our broadhead, see if it spins straight. Oftentimes, the back end of the arrow gets neglected. People don't look at it. And this is arrow number 7, which you guys, if you go back and watch that video, it was, I think, shot 12 and shot 15. We, I guess in the groups of 3, 12 and 15, we had 2 shots that didn't hit behind the pin. I said, oh, there must be something going on because they felt good. We seen this arrow had a little dinger in the back of the pin knock. Said, well, maybe it's not spinning straight. I brought it in. I spun it. It doesn't look terrible, but it's not perfect. And let me show you what a tiny little bit of run out will do. You guys seen the effect I had on target. What's it look like here? Well, I'm hoping that's in focus for you, and I'm just going to spin it kind of slow. It doesn't really look like much. We'll spin her a little faster here. And it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell IRL, and it's hard to tell on this camera. Okay? Now, I do shoot a pin knock, so it didn't ruin our arrow or anything. But I take it out and we can look at the pin. Look at just the pin by itself. See if I can get this here. See if we can get it next to like that coloration there. Try to spin her slow. She's got a little wobble to her. I'll spin her a little faster. Has just the slightest bit of run out to it, and honestly, guys, that's all it takes. It does not take much. If you want to know, you know, what this should look like, I'll pop these pins out. We'll put some new ones in. Here's another arrow that we shot that didn't fly well at all. It flew better than that one, oddly enough, but this one's really wonky. Oops. We'll get this here where we can see it. I mean, you guys can probably see that from back there. This one's really goofy. Hopefully that's in focus. This one's more than obvious. Alright. This one you can probably spin in your hand and see it. If we pull that out, we'll see this pin here is in pretty tough shape. Alright. Not a big deal. We're just going to pop a new pin in it, and we will use a couple new Nocks. So I shoot the biter, the Hunter Nocks. These are probably my favorite Nocks in the whole wide world. I stick them over in the pile of the bad ones. I have a good used pin knock here. We're going to utilize that because that's sitting here. And I like to use the Boning Cool Flex. It's their low temp hot melt. I've had extremely good success with it. Never had points come out. I've never had any component failure. So usually if I do this, I'll just do it in some hot water. We'll just heat it up a little bit. You don't have to go crazy with it. Don't go melt in your veins or anything. Doesn't take much. That's it. So pull out your 2 bent ones, throw them in the pile of little bent ones. I don't know why on earth I have a pile of bent ones. Well, I know why, because I smacked the back of my arrow, but I don't know why I just don't throw them in the garbage. So we'll heat this one up a little bit here. Put a dab of glue on there. Slide her in the back of the arrow. We'll leave that sit there until it solidifies. Same thing, take the other one here. Yeah, I love this low temp melt. You know, you goof up a point, you know, something like this, bust up a pin knock. Yeah, I've never had it pull the inserts out. I've got nothing but good stuff to say about that stuff. I was a little hesitant at first when I first started using it a couple years ago, but now it's my fave. Now they spin nice and true. So I put a couple new Nocks on them. Might be, I don't know how this is going to come across on the camera, but it's obvious when they're spinning nice true, especially if you spin them relatively quickly. So that's it, folks. The only thing I would say is you have to be honest with yourself. You know, when you're out there shooting, if you feel like you're shooting good and the shots are breaking nice and your form's not breaking down and you're not tired, that arrow should have went, with all the rest of them. Everything else has been, doing pretty good here, but now all of a sudden we got this one, rogue flyer here. Number your arrows, whether you build your own arrows or not. Like, here's number 6 and number 7. And it doesn't have to be any, specific. You just have to have something to start to identify patterns. If you got a arrow that's, this thing's always got this one that's over here, up here, and just because, the nock is bent a certain way, or something's wrong with the back of the arrow shaft, or for the front of the arrow shaft, or something's wrong with the fletching, it doesn't mean it's always going to hit left, or it's always going to hit low. It can be just erratic. It's going to cause erratic flight. When it comes off that string, when that string's pushing that forward, just that tiny little bit. Wish we had a way to measure it better, dial indicator or something, but it's probably neither here nor there. If there's any visible movement in it, it's junk. Like I say, I like to shoot pin nocks. If I was going to shoot something other, I would shoot a uni bushing. I like to shoot my arrows kind of in the same spot sometimes, as you guys see. And I like to protect the back of the arrow shaft. These arrows are expensive, and I don't like crashing them. Pin nocks and nocks are relatively cheap in the big picture, so that's that. Hopefully it's good advice. Hopefully it helps somebody out. I'll put a link to that little arrow spinner in case you need one yourself. We'll see you guys on the next one.